Hi everyone, it's Kerry from Novato Gymnastics. I'm here in the gym. It's really quiet. I wish you were here with me instead of being here by myself. But until we can do that, I thought I would go over some things with you that I would normally teach that maybe you can do at home so that when you get back in the gym, you're nice and ready to go. And the things I'm going to do today, actually you could share with your parents or your siblings or anyone. This would be good for everybody. We're going to focus on ankle mobility. What is mobility? Mobility means the ability to move freely and easily. And this is really important because it will help you prevent injury. In your ankles, in gymnastics, they have to do a lot of crazy things. So we want to get them ready for that and have them able to move in all directions and nice and strong. We'll talk about strengthening more in another video, and proprioception, which is a big word that means helping to know where your body is in space. But today we're just going to focus on the basics of moving in all different directions with your ankles. So let's see if we can make this focus on my feet so you can see them. We're going to start, if you can sit on the edge of something like a couch, it's a little bit easier if your feet hang off the edge. So we're going to start with point and flex. So pointing means make your toes go as far away from you as you can, and then flexing, pulling your toes back towards you. If you can, try to squeeze these muscles right here, your quads, keep them tight while you're moving your feet. So we're gonna point and flex. So point and flex, really pull them back as hard as you can, and then push them forward as hard as you can. Point, flex, point, flex. Good. Now let's try that with just one foot at a time. So we're going to go point, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. Good. We'll do about 5. You could do lots of these. You could do 10, you could do 15, you could work your way up. Do as many as you can. Point and flex. So there's flex and point. Flex, point, flex, point, flex. You might hear my ankle kind of cracking. That's okay. It's okay if yours does. No big deal. Now we're going to put them both together and we're going to try to alternate. So we're going to flex one and point one. Flex one and point one. This is good for your brain. Alternate. Do it slow. Once you get that, you can do it faster. Mine's popping. Point and flex, point and flex. Good. And shake them out a little bit. Now we're going to do something that I like to call toes, ankles, ankles, toes. This is really good to work on your toe point and working all the way through your ankles, which is really important in gymnastics and dance and other sports like that. So we're going to start in parallel, meaning our feet parallel. And we're going to go if both of my ankles are pointed, I'm going to start with just my toes. So I'm going to flex, pull backward, just my toes. My ankles are still extended. Then I'm going to flex. Now I'm going to push my ankles extended again, but my toes are still coming backward. Then I point again. So I'm going to go toes, ankles, ankles, toes. This one's a little bit tricky until you get the hang of it. Toes, ankles, ankles, toes. Toes, ankles, ankles, toes. Good, try it one more time. Toes, ankles, ankles, toes. Good job. Shake it out for a second. We're going to try this in turnout. So that means, you may have heard this if you've done dance, you're going to turn your feet out a little bit. So your knees are going out to the side and your heels are together. We're going to try to do our toes, ankles, ankles, toes in turnout, because this will be really good for your dance skills. Okay, so I'm starting pointing really hard again, and I'm going to go just my toes back. I'm still pointing my ankles. That's the tricky part. Now I'm going to flex. Now I'm going to push my ankles, but keep my toes back, and then point. So I'm turned out and I'm going toes, ankles, ankles, toes, toes, ankles, ankles, toes. How about one more time? Toes, ankles, ankles, toes. Good. My ankles are feeling it. Are yours? Okay, now we're going to do some circles. So we're just going to start big, huge circles, as big as you can. Going outward. Big circles. Good. Now we're going to reverse and go the other way. Inward. Circles. Notice I'm trying not to move my legs, so I'm not doing that. I'm only moving my ankles. That's the hard part of these exercises, is isolating. That means doing just one body part at a time. So I'm trying to not move my legs, just my ankles and my feet. Okay, so now let's see if we can do both of them clockwise or to the right. So we're going to do both ankles the same way. So you're like you're drawing big circles, going one way. Good. Can we go the other way with both of them? This is just kind of a good exercise for your brain to figure out how to go all directions. Good. Okay. Now we're going to talk about inversion and eversion, which is a fancy way of kind of saying side to side. This is super important to help prevent injury, because a lot of times when we hurt an ankle, it's because we roll it. That's called inversion. That's an ankle sprain, and we don't want that. So we're going to try to work on this motion, and it's tricky. If you don't get it right away, it's okay. Don't freak out. Do your best. It takes practice. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to isolate our ankles again by squeezing our legs. I'm going to squeeze my quads and try not to move my legs at all. I'm going to try to move just my feet and my ankles. So I'm going to flex my feet a little bit. And now I'm going to try to say no with my feet. No, side to side. Side to side. Can you do that? Just your feet and ankles. Notice my knees aren't moving. I'm not doing that. My legs are still, and I'm just moving my ankles. That's the tricky part. Good job. Now let's see if we can do just one ankle at a time. So if I take this one away. So it's easiest if I flex it a little bit to start. Now I'm going to try to make just my ankle go side to side. This is weird, I know. It's kind of like you're trying to move this part of your foot toward your knee. So I'm going to go in that way. And then I'm going to try to make this part, the side, go back toward my knee this way. So it's kind of rotating my ankle in and out. It's tricky. Most people like to do this when they first start, because that's hard, but we got to keep this leg still. Sometimes it helps if you put your hand on your leg so it won't move. And try to just move your ankle. If you practice it, you'll get it. It just takes a while. Okay, let's try the other one. We're going to try to do just our other foot. So I'm going to put my hand here so my leg doesn't move to remind myself. I'm going to flex my foot a little bit, and then I'm going to try to say no with my foot. Do you see that? So I'm trying to move this part to the side and that part to the side. It's kind of a weird motion. It's kind of cool once you get the hang of it, though. Okay? It's tricky. Don't worry if you can't do it right away. We're going to try to put all these movements sort of together now, and we're going to do some alphabet work. You can do this in capital or lowercase or cursive if you know cursive. My son's in 3rd grade. He's just starting cursive. You could practice your cursive this way. Let's start with one foot. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to do my right foot first. You might want to do your preferred foot. So if you're left-handed, you might want to do your left foot first. And we're going to do it just like we're writing on paper. So we're going to write letters using our toes as our pretend pencil. And we're going to make big, giant letters. So I'm going to try to do a capital A. So I'm going to start down here, and I'm going to go way up and over and across. And I'm going to try to do a big capital B. B, and a capital C, capital C, capital D. I realize this might look backwards for you when you're watching. That's okay. Just pretend like you're writing on a paper with your big toe, and you're going to try to make the biggest letters you can. So I'm doing capital letters right now. That was an H, I, J. Okay, you get the idea. You could do, like I said, uppercase, lowercase. Let's try our other foot. So let's do your other side. Same way, let's pretend like we're writing on a paper. So I'm gonna use my left foot, but I'm gonna write on my paper, just like I was doing letters. Now this foot is trickier for me. It actually feels like I'm writing left-handed. Do you feel like that? So it might take a little bit more concentration to do this side, but that's actually really good for your brain. Okay, and we're strengthening our ankles and working on that ankle mobility, our ability to move it in all different directions really well so that we don't injure it. Let's see, where was I? I think that was a K. Kind of hard to talk and do it at the same time. Okay, you get the idea. You could do the whole alphabet. That'd be awesome. You might feel that you're feeling your muscles working in your feet and your calves while you do it. That's fabulous. Let's try both feet. Now this is interesting. If you do both feet, try both feet and try to do a big, let's see, how about a capital A? Now, which way did you do it? Did you do it like your feet are mirrors? Or did you do both feet the same way? Interesting, right? You can do it both ways. So let's try a mirror. So that means that they're gonna be doing like opposite things. Like if I do a B, I can go down and then B. That's kind of what I naturally do. If I do both feet, is I do it like a mirror image. So they're doing kind of the opposite directions. Do you see that? Let's see, F. I can do that, or I could do it where they're both gonna write just like I'm writing on a piece of paper. So let's see if I was gonna do a B and we're both gonna be the same, they would be like that. That one's harder for me. It's all good, no matter what you do, because you're moving your ankles in lots of directions. What's important is you're trying to not move your legs around too much. You're trying to isolate those feet and those ankles, and you're trying to do big ranges of motion. That means the biggest letters that you can do to get in all of those different directions and work all those little muscles in your feet. So some thoughts on ways you could do this differently. You could write your name. Let's see, I'm gonna write K, E, R, R, Y. You could do spelling words. You could practice your math facts like this. Like I said, Spencer's in 3rd grade, so we're doing lots of multiplication. So maybe we could do our multiplication facts, like 2 times 10 equals 20. Oh, that'd be fun. You could practice your math facts using your ankles and tell your parents you did your homework and you were getting some physical activity. How cool is that? All right, moving on. Let's do a few stretches. So seated, let's use our hands to stretch our ankles, and be really careful when you do this. You don't want to hurt yourself. You want to just be gentle as you do it. So I'm going to sit and I'm going to cross one leg over the other one. You could also sit crisscross applesauce, and I'm going to take my hand. So I'm going to hold my ankle with one hand just to kind of keep it steady first. And I'm going to work on just my toes. So I'm going to practice just curling my toes down. Did you hear mine crack? Feels kind of good. So I'm going to just try to curl them. This will kind of help with your toe point. Again, be gentle, don't hurt anything. You're just trying to stretch them out a little bit. Your feet do lots of work for you, so you want to be kind to them. So we're going to point our toes, curl them. Now we're going to just flex our toes. I'm going to pull just my toes back, but my ankle's not moving. So what this does, this actually stretches the muscles in the bottom of your feet. You can tell your parents if they have plantar fasciitis, that's a crazy word. This is a really good stretch for it. I'm going to stretch out the bottom of their foot. Good. Okay, now we're going to flex our ankle. So I like to do this way to kind of help me pull back and flex my ankle. If you have really flexible ankles, you might not feel this. We might have to do the stretch another way, but I'll show you another one in a minute. So this one, I'm pulling my ankle back. Now, while you do that, can you pull your toes back more at the same time? So I'm going to flex my toes and my ankle. This is really good for your parents if they have that thing I just said, plantar fasciitis. This will help. Stretch your feet like this. And then we can point our ankle and curl our toes down. So I'm extending my ankle and curling my toes. That's going to be really good for my toe point. And of course, we would do that on both sides. but I won't show you the other side right now. Then the other thing you're going to do is you're going to make gentle circles. So again, you're going to hold your foot like this, and you can just help your ankle move in a circle. Feels good. And then you're going to go the other way too. Again, be gentle. Don't hurt anything. It's just trying to get some movement in there in that joint. I think it feels really good. Okay, now another stretch. This is a squat. Let's see if I can adjust this a little bit. Let's see. How's this? So I'm going to squat down, and I'm going to try to push my heels down to the ground in a squat. So I'm pretty flexible this way in my ankles and my low back, so I can get my heels down. Your heels might be up here. That's okay, but see if you can push them down to the ground as much as you can. I'm trying to stretch out those ankles and those Achilles. Can you feel that? You can try to balance here, push them down, use your hands if you need to. Now, this is a little bit tricky. We're gonna try to push up on our toes while we're here. So can you see, I'm trying to squeeze my ankles together so they aren't doing that. Ooh, I don't want that. Squeeze them together, but I'm pushing my heels up. Kind of stretches the bottom of my feet and my toes again. So I'm gonna push my heels down again, and then go up, and push down, and up, down, and up. Good. Now let's make a mountain. So I'm going to go mountain. I'm going to do an Achilles stretch. So I'm going to push my heels down. Can you see that? Let's see. How's that? So I'm in a mountain, hands, feet. I'm going to push one heel down as far as I can. And I'm going to switch, and I'm going to push the other heel down. You should feel that stretching in your calf and your ankle. Good. Can you push both heels down? And then we can also go up and releve and down, and up, down, down. Good. And then let's see, can you bend your knees right there? So when you bend your knees while you're doing an Achilles stretch, you're actually stretching a different part of your calf muscle. This is important. Might feel a little weird at first. And then switch, so you do a bent knee, doing that one. Good. And up and down, up and down, up and down. Work those ankles. Nice. Okay, we'll do a couple more things just to work on this great range of motion that we got. Okay, let's see. We're gonna do some calf raises. Okay, let's see. So you can do this just flat on your floor if you want. It might help to hold on to something. Maybe hold on to a chair or table. If you wanted to, the other great place to do this is on stairs. So if you have stairs at your house, stairs are a great place to do the calf raises. So if I were on stairs, I would do it